There is a celebrity feud brewing. In one corner, pop star accused of glorifying dying young. In the other corner, the daughter of Kurt Cobain.
The quest for immortality has dogged alchemists, philosophers and scientists throughout the ages. But for a select few, immortality has been achieved, not with magic potions or weird science. It ironically came through dying. Buddy Holly, Bon Scott, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Biggie, Tupac, Amy Winehouse and many others, all musicians, and through accident or design, all taken at the peak of their creative lives.
To use the example of Jim Morrison, he's hot, he's sexy and he's dead. That image of Jim was frozen in time, as well as the music of The Doors. And artists such as The Doors and Nirvana, people are still listening to as relevant today as when they were alive all those years ago.
Then there's alternative crooner Lana Del Rey. She's very much alive, but while out promoting her new album, declared to one interviewer, "I wish I was dead already."
We are gathered here today to commemorate the life of Lana Del Rey and celebrate the bounty of astronomical record sales generated by her stupid comments.
It's the glamorised ideal of death and rock and roll. Live fast, die young and leave a beautiful corpse.
The simple fact is that we now live in a world where media travels exceptionally fast and globally. And it doesn't matter what you say. If you say something silly, it's going to be heard right around the world very, very quickly.
But then from Twitter, Del Rey got this profoundly personal response. The death of young musicians isn't something to romanticise. These are the words of Frances Bean Cobain. Her dad, Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, famously shot himself in 1994. She was only 1 at the time. "I'll never know my father because he died young, and it becomes a desirable feat because people like you think it's cool." Whatever her goal was in revealing her death wish, Lana Del Rey has a hit album. But in sharing such a dark, intimate thought, has she glamorised death?
I think this is tricky, actually, because, the idea of glamorising death, I think, is a very bad idea. I think in her case, it wasn't entirely clear to me that that's what she was doing.
Yeah. But she might actually... cry for help.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say I know, but I think there's a possibility of that, and that actually worries me more.
Well, you could grab a quote from any interview, though, and make people look bad, basically, couldn't you?
But there's no glamour in dying young. I think anyone who's lost someone before the time will tell you there's nothing glamorous about it, and it's devastating, and it certainly isn't cool, as Kurt Cobain's daughter said.
No, I think that's absolutely
for those who are left behind.
Absolutely.
So when you've left a legacy like a musician or an actor, all we're seeing is them at their most beautiful and their most potent. We'll try and hose that down.
Well, and not necessarily seeing the years before that they were traumatised.
So that's the thing. I don't think the issue is necessarily what she said. I think it's actually the way we react. Like when celebrities die at that young age, we kind of... It's the people left behind that actually do the glamorising.
Sure.
That's kind of what concerns me.
And because they're not making any more of themselves,
right.
So you have to just enjoy what they left behind.
So anyway, to talk more about this, I'm joined now by Steve Ellen from the Alfred Hospital, where he's a psychiatrist. Steve, what do you reckon? Do you think death can become a fashion statement or something when a popular celebrity announces that they want to die?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with celebrities is everything they do gets glorified and analysed. We follow their fashion sense, their hair, their clothes, their car, everything they do, what they drink, what they eat. And the behaviours that they do also get glamorised, including the bad behaviours like hurting themselves or suicide.
But, Steve, flippant comments from celebrities, can they actually put people at risk?
Well, you know, we don't know for sure, but my gut feeling is that absolutely yes, because we know for a fact that every time suicide's reported in the media, if it's not done in a responsible and sensible manner, causes a blip in the suicide rate. And so we know when anything glorifies suicide that it does lead to an increase in people feeling that way and acting that way. So even though it's inadvertent and even though, you know, we regret those comments afterwards, they can have consequences that we don't intend.
Steve, you're on the front line. What's your message to young people?
Oh, absolutely. When people are sad, depressed, they've got mental illnesses or problems with drugs or alcohol, there are so many good services out there to contact. Places like Beyond Blue, Headspace, all of these fantastic places that have really great success rates and really help people in a relatively quick time. So the message is if you've got these problems, don't feel isolated, don't feel you can't do anything, just reach out, ask for a bit of help, look on the internet, go to your GP, do something.
That's really good advice, Steve. And, of course, if you need the services of Beyond Blue or Lifeline, all the details will be on our website. Thank you so much for your expertise.
My pleasure, thanks.